This is Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard, the people's mayor.
A packed community meeting Thursday night, outburst after outburst.
Most corrupt Mayor Tiffany Henyard has now fled the country after stealing millions of
Things in Dalton, Illinois are straight up off the chain right now, y'all. Tiffany Henyard, the one who's been catching all the heat as America's worst mayor, just up and vanished right when the FBI rolled up with subpoenas and kicked off a full-blown investigation. And yes, this is the same so-called super mayor who's been flexing like she's untouchable. Now, if your YouTube is flooded with drama about Tiffany, you ain't the only one. Folks everywhere are scratching their heads like, why is she so hated, yet still clinging to that seat like her life depends on it, even with all this shady business floating around her name? Because seriously, if she's that bad, how has she not been shown the door yet? Here's the real deal. Tiffany ain't just the mayor of Dalton, she's also the supervisor of Thornton Township. And baby, she's knee-deep in allegations that read like a scandal checklist. We're talking about blowing taxpayer coins on luxury living, flying private, surrounding herself with a whole squad of bodyguards, and even using public money to pay her personal stylist.
Because what we're not gonna do is we're not gonna be homeless behind her raising our taxes.
And you said that you have good business skills, then you should take a look at the budget again.
You are a public servant. You serve us.
Like, for real? But hold on, it gets even wilder. This ain't just about a couple of bad moves. Tiffany's behavior is straight up out of pocket. Sis keeps doubling down on the drama, refusing to take any responsibility. And now, the tea's boiling over because rumor has it, Tiffany done ghosted. This whole saga is a hot mess, and trust me, you're gonna want to get that popcorn ready. I'm about to drop all the piping hot tea on these jaw-dropping allegations against Tiffany Henyard. So keep it locked, because this story is about to go even deeper into the crazy.
To be ashamed of y'allself, y'all black. Y'all are black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself.
Tiffany Aisha Henyard is that Democratic politician who's been holding it down as mayor of Dalton, Illinois since 2021. Then she snagged the title of Thornton Township Supervisor in 2022. But baby, her reign has been nothing but straight up drama. Sis has been making headlines left and right, and trust, it ain't for anything good. We're talking about financial mess-ups, corruption, fraud, and all kinds of shady dealings. Over the past year, Tiffany has been beefing hard with most of the village's board of trustees. And let me tell you, it's been nothing but chaos. Now, folks have been side-eyeing Tiffany since way back in August 2019. CBS 2 Chicago aired her dirty laundry, revealing that one of her Section 8 properties was in shambles. Think mold everywhere and water leaking like a broken faucet.
It started over here in the corner, and that's where it started, and then it just spread it.
Jacqueline Smith says she's battling mold in many places, a result of unrepaired leaks in her Dalton rental home.
It leaks in the corner where the roof, the ceiling is damaged, and then it leaks going into my kitchen, and the window sill leaks in my daughter's room.
These are some pictures of what she says is rain dripping from her daughter's bedroom window. She says mold also grew on her daughter's shoes and is all over the side of the house, which is owned by Dalton trustee.
My first name is Tiffany
Henyard.
Frustrating, irritating. I just don't feel that I should be living like this.
By November 2019, things got so bad, the place was deemed unfit to live in, and the tenant had to pack up and bounce. But here's the real tea. Tiffany allegedly kept stacking those Section 8 checks like nothing even happened. Make it make sense. The tenant wasn't having it and called Tiffany out for doing absolutely nothing about the mold. Once the media caught wind, folks started digging into that property's sketchy inspection history. Now jump to October 2020, and what does Tiffany do? She decides to run for mayor like nothing ever happened. She came out swinging, throwing shots at incumbent Mayor Riley Rogers and his record. And in a wild twist, Tiffany took out Rogers in a heated four-way primary to snatch the Democratic nomination. By the time the April general election hit, SIS dominated, grabbing about 82% of the vote over independent candidate Ronnie Birch.
I can't help but to pause and appreciate the historic significance of this appointment.
I take great pride in being an African American woman leader.
Tiffany also brought her so-called dream team with her, candidates for trustee and village clerk positions. Two of her trustee picks, Kiana Belcher and Jason House, along with village clerk Allison Key, made it into office. But honey, that honeymoon ended quickly. Friendships turned sour fast. And before you knew it, those same folks teamed up with most of the village board to come after Tiffany legally. In fact, just 6 months into her being mayor, the trustees were already throwing shade. They were coming to her about her shady spending and running a low transparency operation. By April 2022, things got so wild that the village board actually sued her, saying Tiffany was knee-deep in conflicts of interest. But Tiffany wasn't about to back down. Sis fired back, accusing some of the trustees of stirring the pot, even going so far as locking them out of their offices and canceling board meetings.
Cassandra Elston has been the assessor here in Thornton Township for the past 10 years, an elected position that helps residents deal with exemptions and property tax appeals. But when she arrived at work this morning, something strange happened.
This was your office?
Yes.
What happened when you tried to open it?
It doesn't work.
Not only had Elston been locked out of her own office, but boxes of sensitive documents that she kept in her office were spread around the common area.
This was under lock and key before.
This was under lock and key.
And now it's just out in the open?
Now it's just out in the open. So it has the taxpayer's name, address.
So who did this to you?
Well, I imagine this new supervisor, Tiffany Henyard. That we paid the bills for the general fund. Is there a second? Is there a motion and second? Call the roll.
Trustee Jones?
Nope. Radio silence after Henyard attempts to get general fund bills paid. Here's why. The trustees didn't go along with it.
You guys still don't want to move forward with paying any of the bills in the general fund? That is my question.
Is there a day with the previous week that we could pick, that we could set to review the bills?
Trustee, y'all already have the bills. Do you want to pay the bills for the general fund?
The public needs to know.
They already know. Stop.
They don't even.
Our meeting is on Tuesday.
So that's a no then.
We're here. We're here. We had time to review it. My question is, are you paying the bills?
To review invoices.
Point of order. Is there a motion on the floor to pay the?
She wasn't playing. But baby, that's just the tip of the iceberg. People in Dalton, from residents to employees to business owners, started coming forward with some serious accusations. Word on the street was that Tiffany was using her power to come for anyone who crossed her. Allegedly, she had the village police harassing businesses that didn't fall in line, and even tried to strong-arm campaign contributions out of some business owners. And that's not all. She's also been accused of firing village employees left and right just for political payback. Then in March 2024, things took a dark turn when NBC Chicago dropped a bombshell. Files obtained through a Freedom of Information request showed that the Illinois Department of Human Rights was deep into a serious investigation involving Tiffany, the village of Dalton, and Thornton Township. And the tea, Tiffany's former assistant accused the village trustee, Andrew Holmes, of raping her during a trip to Vegas. And if that wasn't bad enough, the assistant also claimed Tiffany retaliated against her.
Our last night in Vegas,
without even bothering to get the Board of Trustees approval. Whew, this drama ain't letting up anytime soon. Things really started popping off in those council meetings, with trustees and Tiffany throwing shots back and forth over the village's wild spending habits.
I wouldn't trust this woman if she stood on a stack of Bibles and had her tongue notarized. Not a damn thing she says comes out her mouth is true.
Then in January 2024, City Trustee Brittany Norwood rang the alarm, saying Dalton was on the edge of bankruptcy thanks to Tiffany's reckless spending. Sis pointed out that the village was drowning in a massive $7 million worth of debt. According to a Fox 32 Chicago investigative report, Tiffany had the nerve to use taxpayer dollars to assemble her own personal police security squad, and this move was costing Dalton citizens hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. By February, the village board of trustees said enough is enough. In a 4-2 vote, they overrode Tiffany's veto of their budget for the 2024-25 fiscal year, slashing things left and right. Tiffany was heated, claiming these cuts were about to push Dalton right into bankruptcy. And as if that wasn't bad enough, the village got hit with a warning. 13 police department vehicles were on the verge of getting repossessed. Tiffany, of course, tried to flip the script, blaming the trustees for not approving the payments for those vehicles. And chilly, we're only scratching the surface here. It would take a whole Netflix documentary to dive into all the wild allegations spinning around Tiffany. But one thing's for sure, it looks like her time is running out. In karma, she's finally coming to collect. Finally, the FBI is officially on Tiffany Henyard's neck, and they're not playing around. Federal agents have launched a full-blown criminal investigation into the so-called super mayor, and sis just got hit with not one, but 2 subpoenas demanding a whole mountain of business records and financial reports. According to Fox 32 Chicago, the first subpoena is all up in her private dealings, while the second one, that's aimed at the township. But here's the kicker. Tiffany's gone ghost, vanishes right when things are heating up. Where's Tiffany? Here's the tea. On August 14th, just one day after a bombshell report dropped, revealing that South Suburban Dalton was more than $3.5 million in debt, Mayor Tiffany Henyard straight up disappeared. She's been dodging the media, hasn't shown up at Dalton Village Hall in weeks, and her office, radio's silent. Even village employees are keeping tight-lipped, only saying she hasn't been in the office, leaving everybody wondering when or if she's going to pop back up. Meanwhile, social media is having a field day. People are scratching their heads, asking how Tiffany is still technically the mayor with all these crazy allegations swirling. One person pointed out, the people of Dalton did vote to recall her a year after she was elected, but for whatever reason, the judge threw it out because Illinois doesn't have enough recalls. That part is even more insane. This story kind of reminds me of Tiger King and Joe Exotic. Somebody else chimed in saying, if this woman doesn't end up in prison, the justice system should be destroyed. But what's your take on this so-called super mayor, Tiffany Henyard? How do you think someone this messy even got into office in the first place? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to check out our next video.